And now for the news, Brooklyn rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine is in federal custody facing racketeering and firearms charges. Law enforcement sources say the rapper, whose real name is Daniel Hernandez, was arrested this morning. Several of his former associates were also taken into custody. The arrest comes less than a month after the rapper was sentenced to probation in a sex crimes case.
Hey, how y'all doing, man? We back in the building again.
What up, what up? So Marvelous in the building.
Money Bates in the building, right?
Chrissy Grigoropoulos.
Andrew Sherman.
All right, now. What we talking about today, man?
So pretty much what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the Tekashi 6ix9ine case. And we have two attorneys here. We have...
Chrissy here. I do personal injury, criminal defense, workers' comp.
All right.
Andrew Sherman. I'm the Dean of Students at the California School of Law. And I work civil rights issues and immigration.
All right, so we're going to use the Tekashi 6ix9ine situation. And we're going to inform you about the RICO and things of that nature.
Sounds good, man. Let's get it started, man. All right.
So first, you guys had asked about the Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yes, indeed.
Well, we all know that mid-November, Tekashi was arrested.
Yeah.
He was charged with RICO charges.
Right.
RICO stands for the Racketeering, Influenced, and Corrupt Organizations Act. It began in 1970 by Nixon, who was very tough on drugs kind of person.
He was a Republican.
We all know that, but Then he had Giuliani, who was a Democrat turned Republican, who had the first case that they charged in 1979, U.S. vs. R.I.C.O.
Right.
In U.S. vs. R.I.C.O, they charged the person with essentially receiving kickbacks and legal money for essentially running the docks. He ran labor unions. He had people, blocking medical decisions off of workers' comp, and all that money that was saved was going back in their pockets.
Right.
So they said, as an organization, you guys are corrupt. You may not be operating together or individually or even at all as a real organization. We're going to prove that together you guys did something.
Right. So how does that basically tie in with the Tekashi 6ix9ine thing?
So criminally speaking, obviously, there's two prongs in RICO. You have the civil prong, and then you have the criminal prong.
Right.
In this situation, obviously, we think RICO. Most people, when they think RICO, they're thinking, Drake's song. They go by the lyrics. They're like, RICO. Okay. So we know everything goes based on, be quiet, but they're thinking it's, this mafia lifestyle or this mob related. What it really is you can have corrupt people that work together, or at least the government likes to prove that when these charges are alleged and when people are prosecuted on these RICO charges. There's different prongs of RICO. They want to prove the conspiracy. They want to prove some type of corporate entity that's, furthering illegal activity. So when you're furthering illegal activity, obviously a lot of times it goes more than just in that state. It goes other states, when they're talking about Trey, the set with the Bloods and things like that, they're not just talking New York. So when you're talking bigger spectrum, they're gonna spend more money, look into it some more. And with the 6ix9ine portion, there's a lot of things that we can get into how to prevent something like that happening. 6ix9ine, even, I don't know if you guys know about, but Fat Joe actually went out and was talking about how he tried to give some advice to 6ix9ine, just lay low, don't go into the social media with your guns, this, that, or not even social media. I would say our generation now, people from their early teens, maybe even earlier than that, to mid-30s, 40s, even 50s, posting money pictures on social media. They're posting gun pictures, toy gun pictures, alleged gun pictures. We want to be really careful with what we're talking about. But, even as far as, Hernandez, Aaron Hernandez back in the day with his charges, God rest his soul, but in reality, he really got caught up because of he had videos in his home, he had certain guns, he had certain tattoos. People are highlighting it in the same respect that you want to dedicate yourself if you do belong to an entity, but the government wants to prove that you belong to an entity, and that's where we're at with 6ix9ine. So 6ix9ine, they're saying he is part of this set of the Bloods, and he's saying it when in reality, I believe his defense counsel is just trying to say, okay, listen, just because you're with somebody doesn't mean you're necessarily that somebody.
Right.
So 6ix9ine, he's a celebrity. When you're a celebrity, I try to dumb it down with my own clients, as far as the way you want to explain it, because little kids, what do they do to gain popularity? They try to show off. So my mommy said I can stay up till 9 o'clock at night. Meanwhile, they were in bed at 6. Same thing with these social media pictures, or, maybe even 6ix9ine in theory, with, okay, I kill everybody, I do this, I do that, or, that's the demeanor that he wants to portray so he could sell some records, which guess what? He's doing great. So he's doing amazing. So telling these stories. And the difference with the RICO in his case is he telling a story or is it reality? Are the people that he's associating with as maybe protection, or are they really part of his family? You know, that's the problem there.
So, how strong of a case do you think the feds have right now?
Well, we can definitely talk about the standard in RICO. So RICO is one of the highest standards. Andrew was saying earlier that with RICO, it was originated the act. So it was the Racketeering, Influence, Corrupt Organization Act back in 1970. It took them 9 years to finally bring it to meanings, have somebody charged, convicted of this RICO, because you have to prove different prongs. So personally, I haven't seen all the evidence, so I can't really speak with my license wise. But I mean, we can just talk about his media stance. You know, hypothetically speaking, everything has an explanation.
Right.
And everything has, a reason that it can be looked at positive light or in the negative light. So,
what's your opinion on the fact that how does it correlate to his previous charges? Do you think they're putting a lot of weight on their and this is obviously not legal advice, but do you think they're taking his previous charges in 2015 of sex with a 13-year-old girl and using that along with his alleged ties to having security by them?
Well, I can't.
Those sound like pretty big issues. I mean, if you have a previous sexual assault charge and you're convicted of trafficking women, that sounds like a pretty big issue.
But that wasn't his. He didn't plead to that charge, so I can't really speak on that. Those are the alleged charges. That's first. So we can't speak on what he can be charged for. We can all be charged, God forbid, with murder. It doesn't mean we killed somebody. You could be at the wrong time in the wrong place. Could we explain that away about a lot of people? Listen, if you're in a drug slinging neighborhood, maybe somebody slung drugs and you might have some drugs next to you. It doesn't mean you dropped them because you were doing a sale.
Right.
So sometimes just having friends, or even having someone get in the car with you, you have to be really careful. You don't know what's in those pockets, but when you get pulled over and the cops come to the door and they say get out of the vehicle and you happen to find some stuff that that's not yours from your car, something may have happened, and you're never going to know what happens until that point. But to go back to the question about what I think as far as evidence is concerned, I think because he is a flight risk because he has money. The reason why he doesn't have bail right now is because he has money. He's not there. They're worried about the reason bail was made is to prevent someone from never coming back to answer to their charges. He has a lot of money because he's very successful in these beautiful videos that he shows unfortunate activities that may have gotten him in some trouble.
Right.
So as far as the evidence goes, I think that everyone is innocent until proven guilty, and I believe in our justice system, and I think that he has a proper attorney that is going to either fight for what he has done, hasn't done, and get him the the outcome that he should be getting. I think as far as the publicity in his prior acts are not allowed to come into court unless they are related. Specifically, there's definitely evidence rules. So just because it doesn't smell kosher doesn't mean it's not kosher. So, that's to answer that question.
So as we're going with that, let me give a little background. All right, this is what the indictment, the allegations. Nothing's happened yet. They're saying this is what we think you did. And they said that you were part of the Nine Trey Gangsta Bloods, a criminal organization that in 1993 was deemed to be a criminal organization. So just like the Genovese family or any of them might have been a criminal family, they're putting them the blood organization in the same level as a mafia, old school mafia type of family. Then they're saying that as part of the members, you may not have yourself been part of it, but you knew of and helped people in the acts of murder, robbery, narcotics trafficking, and sex trafficking. Then they said this happened in Manhattan, Brooklyn, and the Bronx. So we see as we're listening, there's a lot of things they have to list. They have to allege a lot of things. For example, they say an associated in fact. Associated in fact means that there's not a legal corporation. You guys didn't file articles of incorporation. You didn't file a partnership, but you're acting like you're in one, which leaves just as much responsibility.
You share profits, you share losses. You take losses together. That's what they're trying to prove. But they have a long list of things that they have to prove in order to gain that. Unfortunately, with RICO, there's also different prongs. With if it doesn't smell good, like if you're a conspiracy, if they're found with certain things like that. That's why they listed so many things. So it's kind of like pasta. You throw it at the wall and hope something sticks.
Hope something sticks, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So they're saying with them, they had multiple shootings, but they allege one specific one. And that was the one on West 40th and 8th Avenue in Manhattan, a gunpoint robbery. They're trying to say that he was particularly involved with that one. And theoretically, if they can connect that one, they can connect him to the other ones with, they brought his cohorts, Crippy, Melmurda, Shadi, Ish, and it was Tekashi. the whole group of them. They said, all you guys together, you hired, what they're alleging essentially is you at least hired people to protect you.
Right.
Which if you hire, like you said, fruit of a poisonous tree, if I hire you to protect me, I'm paying for your illegal activity because
Right.
I know what you do with that money.
Right. Okay, that sounds good.
So how do you think that, do you think there's any way he can get off? Like the way it sounds from what you're telling me that he's kind of like, fuck. So is there a way where he can get off? Is there any loopholes within this? Because from my understanding that RICO is what, 90-something, 93%? Like that, once they hit you with that RICO, like you're going down. Somebody's going down.
Well, I've never heard a percentage. I don't like percentages because I think that both you and I can statistics. I think both of us were against statistics, and we've gotten to where we're at today, even past statistics. So I don't like them very much.
I don't pass statistics, I'll be that honest.
I mean,
passed a lot of classes.
I did very well, even though I'm not the best in math, other than counting money and percentages off of sales, you know. But right, you know. But listen, realistically speaking, I think that there's always a defense to something. Right. I mean, listen, he's a celebrity. He's trying to look cool. You have to look cool. If you're not cool, you're gonna get beat up. You know, is Urkel gonna get girls and money, or is Stefan gonna get girls and money? You know, so why is Stefan here? Okay, well maybe. You know, rainbow hair is Stefan, rainbow hair machine guns is Stefan, and you know, the suit that he wore to court and the nice teeth, and you know, that's what the image of public eye says is normal. Right. But you know, nowadays, what is normal anymore? We have the transgender bathrooms now. We have so many things that are now deemed normal, but it's why? Because some people can accept it now because we fought hard enough. You know, even women speaking, you know, women being attorneys, women in general, you know, that wasn't normal. That's normal now. Okay, so transgender, okay, that's normal now. Okay, so people with crazy hair and machine guns, all right, not so normal yet. All right, I'm not saying gun laws are in New York will ever be that liberal. It's very, very liberal. I can talk about gun laws forever. I myself, I went to law school in Michigan, so we shot guns all the time because there were gun shooting ranges. You know, I love shooting. I like going to Pennsylvania. I like 45s; those are my favorite. So, like I like guns, you know. But in reality, you know, just because you take a picture with a gun, does that make you a criminal? You know, I have videos shooting guns. You know, that doesn't make me a criminal. If you have a felony, you're shooting a gun, we might have a different story. But again, it goes back to social media and why you shouldn't be posting certain things on social media. You post money, you're getting robbed. That should be common sense to people that get money. If it's paper money, maybe it's monopoly money. Do we really know? We don't know. Right. So that's really what it comes down to as far as that's concerned. Like I said, I hope that anyone that hasn't been proven guilty is not going to jail, because I think that I would rather, as a platform, I would rather let go 5 innocent people, 10 guilty, not guilty, but you know, people before putting away somebody that's innocent. You only need that one person. You know, we've just been talking about recently in the media. Somebody was away for, I think, like 11 years. It was like mistaken identity. Yeah. It happens all the time. I've written motions on eyewitness testimony that you have literally a witness say, yes, that is the person that I saw. And due to their fear, their memory will not allow them to really visually see that. And they want to have somebody held accountable, and they will put somebody in jail for looking like someone else, you know. And then you have everyday factors like racial discrimination. You know, let's say, okay, well, that black guy looks like that black guy, that Asian may look like that Asian, that Indian, you know, and so on and so forth. So one witness identity may be like, okay, I think they had a turban. Okay, so that person has a turban, same person, put him in jail. Right. Okay, because why? Eyewitness testimony back, you know, years ago, it was the best thing. All you needed was eyewitness testimony. Right. Now it's not as credited because it's not always accurate, you know, and then you have people going away for many, many years based on, you know, somebody's eyewitness statement that's incorrect. And then when DNA is finally found years later through either another appeals attorney or the Innocence Program. I know in my law school, they had the Innocence Program back then. I know that still different entities are providing it. So, you know, it definitely works out, you know, in that respect too, with, you know, making sure someone that didn't go to jail didn't, you know, someone that goes to jail didn't commit a crime or did commit a crime, so we don't have the wrong people in jail.
Okay.
So, you have a question?
So off topic. We'll go into
so my question, what I wanted to say was, one thing I did notice in the indictment itself against Tekashi, in listing his counts, was in indictment number 7, the count number 7, part D, they actually specifically say that he was celebrating and promoting on social media that he was using guns, drugs, and even making statements such as, like they used to say with the old mafia people, I'm sorry about your chin. I saw you got beat up. I hope you and your family do well. Well, how did they used to get the old Genovese family and the mafia family? All these people, our protection is limited. If you don't pay us this week, then little Johnny over at Stuyvesant High School with Mrs. White over there, let me know how his gym class goes. So it's the same concept.
Right.
People, social media is a very, very terrible thing because, as we were discussing earlier,
If you're not using it properly, I think social media could be a great thing,
but
but I
that's
think
the
that,
problem. It's not being used properly. If you're posting yourself using
Well, ask Trump how
guns-
he's doing with it.
Well,
Ask him that.
we'll tweet at him later. We'll let him know
Oh,
about the
that's
government
not the same
shutdown.
dude, but
Long story short, just be careful with your everyday activities. You little thing like letting your friend in the car may not seem like a big deal, but it could be. It could be.
Trust me, I know.
Trust
me, I know.
Listen,
My
I've been down that road.
friend came over the
I've been
house.
down that road.
He's a fleeing felon. You don't know he's a fleeing felon. They come over, crash on the couch one night. Now you're aiding and abetting,
Yeah.
and you didn't even know it. So it's
Gotta
just,
be careful.
you gotta be
Definitely
careful.
have to be
It's
careful.
unfortunate, but you do have to be careful with everything that you do. And I tell my students all the time now, being a dean at a law school, is that you guys are going to be lawyers now. So whatever you did before this, just start thinking about your future.
You're right. You have to be mindful.
You have to be mindful of the consequences of what could happen 3, 4, 5 years down the road.
That's right.
All right?
All right, man. We definitely appreciate y'all.
Andrew Sherman.
basically Garoppolo's.
Your school.
We're the California School of Law. You can go to www.californiaschooloflaw.com. We accept all applicants. I know it's listed in California, but it's an online, live, interactive law school accredited by the California Bar. I went there and I have a license from California. I graduated, I took the bar exam, and I passed it. So we have a program that accepts most just on the premise that we believe people deserve a chance. If you graduated college, you don't need an LSAT. We give you a chance. We give you 1 year, and if you do well, then you get to continue trying to becoming a lawyer. If you can't handle it, we'll tell you sorry. We no longer can work with you, but good luck. We're not going to take your money anymore.
Sounds good. And you?
Garoppolo's Law Group. We have locations in the Bronx and Queens. We're here in our brand new office, just opening up right before the new year.
And it's nice too. It's nice.
Thank you guys.
Real nice.
Yeah.
Nice
We
and
doing criminal defense, personal injury, workers' comp, and arbitrations and collections for any no-fault provider.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
What's your phone number?
718-249-7447, Grigor, Grigor, lawgroup.com.
Sounds good, man. Sounds
Thank
good.
you guys so
Thank you,
much.
guys.
Hablamos
Thank
Espanol too.
Oh,
Greek and any other language, pretty
You
much.
see
We
that?
got staff. We got it all for you guys.
Multilingual. Yeah, okay, not a problem.
Thank you guys.
Multilingual, multifaceted, multi-abilities, whatever you guys need.
That's what I'm talking about, man. I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you guys having us on
Thank
today.
you.
Thank you.
All right, man.